Hello everybody and welcome back to another new vlog. Thank you for joining me once again. I'm currently at Shrewsbury bus station where I'm about to catch a bus over to Much Wenlock, where I'm going to do another vlog for you for today. But I wanted to stop here really just to test out the onboard audio on my new GoPro Hero 13 that I've just bought. In a little while, probably by the time I get to Much Wenlock, I'll have changed over to the Rode wireless microphone that I've got with me, and I just really want to test in the edit which is the best audio, and then I can make a decision based on what I learn from that. But in the meantime, I hope you enjoy this vlog. Let's get on the bus and get over to Much Wenlock. So I've just managed to get into Much Wenlock, which is a little village just on the edge of Wenlock Edge. And I've stopped to have some lunch in a pub just down the road, and now I'm heading out towards Wenlock Edge itself to see if I can get a decent bit of elevation in the legs, some air in the lungs, and see if I can find some nice photo opportunities to capture. So it's been quite an interesting morning so far, well, afternoon now, and like I said, I've just had my lunch, so I don't know how far I'm going to get on this walk. There is a walk that I could do, which takes about 3 hours, 3.5 hours maybe. I'm not really sure I've got enough time to be doing that particular walk. However, I'll still get some of that done, and part way along the walk I can head back into Much Wenlock to catch the bus back home. So I don't know how you can see, the sweat's already pouring off my head. I've just walked up this path behind me here, this one here, not this one. I've walked up this path behind me here somewhere through this woodland here. And I've come to this other path here, which looks like it was some sort of bridleway at some point. And there's a kissing gate just behind me. And I'm going to go through that and across this field behind me. And again, I think that's part of a bridleway. It's part of the Shropshire Way, which I'm sure there's bridleways around it somewhere. So I'm going to head that way now and see how far I get. I'm hoping that the views start to open up a little bit in a while. It looks as though they might just do. And this really is what I came here for, the views over Wenlock Edge. So I've come back to where I was a few minutes ago. Just behind me somewhere you'll notice that kissing gate over there that I just came through. And as I came through the gate, I followed the path across this field and then further up a hill at the back of the field somewhere there. And I got to the top of the hill and kind of walked through a little cutting and was confronted by a field full of very large cows. Now, I don't mind cows, I don't dislike them, but I was a little bit concerned about them because I've never been here before, don't know this route, and I just wasn't sure what the cows here were like. So I decided to quit that bit of the walk, and instead I've come back to this gate, and I know from looking at OS maps on my phone that bridleway that I mentioned earlier, the other side of the gate, that goes the opposite direction, and actually it joins up with another part of the Shropshire Way in just a few hundred metres time. So it may be easier for me to walk that way instead and come back and rejoin the path a little way on. So at the moment I haven't been able to take any photos, but I'm hoping that in a few more minutes time I will be able to. So it looks as though I'm about to find my first composition of the day. I don't know how well it's going to work out because I'm kind of right at the wrong level to capture this. I want it to be a little bit higher up to be able to see this composition, but I tell you what, if I just swing you around and have a look at this field behind me, I don't know how well you can see all those beautiful purple flowers there behind me in that field. They look amazing, don't they? I don't know whether it's lavender. I think it probably is. It's the right time of year to be lavender, but there's quite a lot of it. And there's several fields around here with it in. So I'm going to see if I can find a composition of this before I go anywhere else. As you can probably hear from the road noise next to me, I am right next to a main road, and just before I took those two photos, I had to drop down from the path that I was on and cross the main road. But obviously there's no traffic lights or anything there. It was just a very busy B road, or even possibly an A road, to be honest with you. And then I dropped down into this field and saw what I thought at first might have been lavender, as I mentioned to you. But actually I've just checked it using Google Lens on my phone, and in actual fact it's flax, which has been used for food supplements and for creating dyes and so on, for clothing. It's absolutely magnificent colour. I don't know how well it comes across in the images, but I took one. There was a little opening across the other side of the field where I was standing, and just I wanted to focus on that little opening, so I took a shot at around about 45 millimeters on the 24 to 105mm lens. Zoomed in quite well at I think 85 millimeters as well. So I've got two shots of that scene, both at f/16, shutter speed of 1/125th of a second, ISO 400. I hope you like those images. I'm going to move on. I think I may even get another chance to photograph this flax again in a few minutes time. So I'm going to keep moving and see how far I get. So at this point now, I could cut off the path just here behind me and head into Much Wenlock that way. Or alternatively, I could continue along the path that I've been going along this way and take a slightly longer route back into Much Wenlock. And I think, to be honest, that's going to be the route I'll take. I did start walking away from those flax fields earlier, and as I've continued walking along the path, I've got further and further away from those fields. Excuse me. And couldn't get a decent shot of them. So as I've gone slightly higher up, I was hoping to get a slightly elevated view of those fields, but there wasn't one at all, I'm afraid. Anyway, I'm going to carry on and take this walk into Much Wenlock, see if I can clear my throat a little bit, and try and see if I can find a few more images. So I've just managed to cross this main road behind me. The last 25 minutes, half an hour or so, I've been walking through mainly fields, and there doesn't seem to have been any compositions there, other than just the open fields, which is kind of a little bit boring. There needs to really be some sort of foreground interest, or at least mid-ground interest within those fields. Really, they were just green fields. Beautiful, I love the scenery, but there was nothing really to photograph there. However, now, as I've crossed that main road, I've started to head into a woodland. Well, I'm about to head into a woodland just behind me, and I think there may be a few more compositions a little way on from there. And now I'm heading back into Much Wenlock. I've kind of done what seems to be a circular route from there. I was heading initially towards Wenlock Edge, and then when I saw those cows, I decided to double back on myself, and I found a completely different route going in a totally different direction the other way. But it's been a nice route, and I've enjoyed the walk, but I haven't really taken very many photos, just those photos of the flax fields that you saw earlier. So hopefully I may be able to catch something else along the rest of the walk back into Much Wenlock. Okay, so that's pretty cool. I've only gone a few hundred yards through that woodland that I was just walking into, and I've come to the edge of it, and there's this here right behind me. It appears to be some sort of tower or folly or something in the middle of the field. Looks like it's in a decent composition. I don't know how to shoot it yet, whether to go portrait or landscape orientation. I've got a bit of a problem with the sun being quite high in the sky at the moment, and it is in full glare as well because there are no clouds anywhere, apart from the odd one or two wispy ones not dotted around. But I think this is going to make a nice composition, either portrait or landscape. I haven't decided yet. I might take both to see which I prefer, and possibly a range of different focal lengths as well. But it looks a nice image, and I might also go and have a look inside there to see if I can actually get in and see what it is. So bear with me a minute, I'll take this photo. So I've appeared to have found myself in a bit of a woodland right now, as you can tell. I was walking down that path from that tower or folly or whatever it was, and headed towards the woodland, and I suddenly turned and saw a viewpoint that I recognised. I couldn't photograph it because there was no photograph there, because the sun had such a glare on it that it was impossible to capture a decent image there. It would probably be good at sunrise or sunset because it was a slightly elevated position and you would get beautiful colours in the early morning or late evening. But I spotted the flax fields that I was looking at earlier, and in particular I picked out the spot that I actually photographed, and I'm the other side of that field now. So I managed to see exactly where I was and start recognising a few of the spots. And now I'm on right there on the edge of a recreation ground, just on the edge, the outskirts of Much Wenlock. So in a few minutes time I'll be heading back into Much Wenlock. I'm going to keep recording and see if I can find another couple of images before I get back into town. I don't know whether I will. Like I say, I've never done this walk at all before, so this is brand new to me. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm glad I've done it, and it's been quite a long walk actually, surprisingly, but it's been very easy. So you will probably notice as well that I've taken the wireless microphone off and I'm now just using the in-camera audio. I hope this is sounding okay. My wireless microphone ran out of charge again. Now I've recently bought a power bank, so I could have charged up that microphone if I wanted to, but I decided there was no real point anyway, as I'm almost back into Much Wenlock and I'm almost at the end of the vlog. So it's probably just a little bit easier to keep recording on the GoPro anyway. But like I say, I'll be back in Much Wenlock in a few minutes. I'll try and take a few photos, and if they're any good, I'll put them on screen for you. So that's me back in Much Wenlock now. The main road of the village is just behind me, and that's where I started my walk this morning. I know there is a bus that I can catch back to Shrewsbury train station in a little while, but also there may be a little pub just round the corner I can stop in and have a drink before I go. Hope you've enjoyed today's vlog. Hasn't been very many photos, I'm afraid, but sometimes it just works out that way, I'm afraid. There's nothing I can really do about that. It's just the compositions dictate to me where they are. So I have to take what I can see as I see it, and today I just didn't see very many compositions worth taking, other than really those beautiful flax fields and that interesting folly that I saw. So if you have enjoyed the vlog, please remember to give it a thumbs up, and also please remember to subscribe to the channel if you are not already, and I look forward to seeing you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.